Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's the we'll go ahead and we'll bring it back. It's the show that is not a show because it's always chaos. I live in perpetual chaos, and this show is no exception. This camera angle, you guys can see this, right? Like, it looks like I'm just sitting by myself at a table drinking with a bunch of people that are having fun behind me, because that's what's happening. This is the 200th episode of the Weekly Pint, which I didn't know that we were getting close to episode 200, although if you asked me, I could have figured it out, math, because January. But Caroline says that the Peanut Gallery has better lighting. All right. Okay, hang on. Caroline's judging my lighting. Let's get some. All right, let's do this. We'll put some lights on me like this. There we go. There we go. How's that? I'm just going to sit and I'm going to just hold. No, I'm not going to do that. What was I saying? So I didn't know that like the 200th episode was approaching. I didn't know it was a thing. Caroline also wants to know if Julia is going to sip count herself. Oh, we should have planned this. You should have brought one of the counters, and I could have counted for you. So not only did I not know that the 200th episode was a thing, I didn't know that we were supposed to do a live show for it, because I don't really like. I don't mark like anniversaries loudly. I don't do like 100th episodes, 200th episodes. I don't really do that kind of stuff typically, because I don't keep track of episode numbers on my other show, the one that's been going on the longest. I just kind of just make a show when I can make a show, and then don't when I can't, which happens more often than not. So when you guys all said that we should do a live episode for the 200th episode, it caught me off guard, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I figured the only way I could get you guys to show up for it is to do it here on the best side, the west side. And there is only one appropriate spot when you're on the west side to do a show, and that's West Side Brewing Company. So shout out to West Side for hosting us. I still am not sure if they knew we were showing up. I just walked in and started setting things up, and they got this like wide-eyed look, like, "What are you guys doing?" Yeah, sorry, I figured it out. I took over the party room, which is fine since there's playoff football happening and the tap room is packed. Caroline says West Side best side D. Lots of E's. Oh wait, that's side. Side. Shouldn't there be more I's than E's? Side. I don't know. I don't have a ton of topics to talk about. I didn't pull a ton of news because I want to talk about kind of this show and where it started and where it's maybe going, and why it's not a show and why maybe it is a show and why it's confusing. If any of you guys want to jump up and grab a microphone, I put a second microphone so I can have people to talk to. So feel free to jump up here if anybody wants to talk about things. Also, if you are on the chat and you're not here, let us know, because I'm curious to know how everybody feels about being left out of the excitement. Joe just asked me something, and I can't tell what it was. Oh, hang on. You're muted.
Probably best that way.
Try that.
What are you drinking?
What am I drinking?
What are we all drinking?
Oh, that's a good one. So I'm drinking
bonus.
I'm drinking an Italian Pilsner. I can taste the Italian spices. There's no Italian spices. it's noble hops. It's delicious.
It's fantastic.
What are you drinking, Julia?
Polishing off a pitcher of Gill. German Irish lager.
German Irish lager, which
phenomenal.
So I think is this a? Oh, here's a good question that I don't know the answer to. Is this a German malted beer that is? No, it has to be. I don't know. What makes this a German Irish lager? Do you know?
They say so.
Do you know, Marco?
No, I actually don't know. I've never
Marco's
really
pointing
looked
at
into
the TV. I thought he was pointing at something.
It's because the Steelers suck.
Does anybody know what makes us German and Irish?
Where's Colin? Didn't you invite him?
It's
Malty but lager. You just described every German beer. It's malty but lager. I don't know.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, it's Irish and German, but what does that mean? Because there's no Irish hops. There's no Irish malt. Right? So it's like I don't know. What Marco, maybe you can answer this.
Maybe because
Marco,
part of the
Marco's here, Julia's here, Truth or Consequences. Marco sometimes makes beer.
true.
It's been a while, right?
I
When was
make
the last
up
time you
stuff
made a
about
beer? He's answering. You can't hear him. He said numbers, and I don't know what they were.
June of 2022.
2022. That's not
Yeah.
that long.
I think maybe because one of the founding families of West Side
Sure.
is Irish, Gilligan, so therefore that's the Irish component of this German
But there
Irish
has
lager.
knowing
Does it
knowing
have to,
West
though?
Side and the way they
Right,
name
they're-
their, it has to be
They
something.
are intentional, right?
So it's like it's like an Irish red ale with German yeast. But what makes an Irish red ale? Like what is? It's got clovers in it. Market. What makes an Irish red?
Leprechauns.
He's making something up right now.
No, it's base malt and then some caramel malt, some caramel malts. But it's not,
You can't hear him. He's talking though.
yeah, it's not overpowering with the caramel malts, just enough to give it some caramel flavors. Not going to.
I feel like you're not answering. Yeah, I feel like you
Go
just
Buffalo!
dancing around the.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
yeah.
screaming
What-
while you're
what-
trying to talk.
I don't know. I don't know what makes it an Irish. I don't know. I get the German. I get the German side of the beer. It's great beer.
It's a great
let's
beer.
Let's
It's
establish
fantastic.
that right off the bat.
I told
get the
Josh
German
other
side.
day, I actually think Gill is probably, the more I think about it, my absolute favorite West Side beer.
Oh, okay.
Like I
So we're
think
getting
that
into-
this takes that crown, even though it's not available year round, but every single time it's out, I buy so much more of it than I buy of any of their other beers, seasonal or not.
Right.
Like a lot of times I'll come here and I haven't had this in a while, I haven't had that in a while. I jump back and forth between what I get, but when Gill's out, it's all Gill all the time. So
I've started to kind of as far as the Gill side of West Side, they are now partners with a restaurant over in Wyoming that is called Gilligan's, and they have a nice little. So most of the taps are West Side taps, the same stuff you'll see here, but there's probably a third of them or 25%. I don't know the exact breakdown of these new Gilligan's beers that are Irish styles or English styles that are just on tap all the time. And I fell in love with. They've got this pub ale, which is like an English bitter that I every time I go there, which normally I go there on Mondays for lunch.
have you had the extra stout on nitro when you've been up there?
Not the extra stout. I've had the regular stout.
You need to do the extra if they still have it on nitro.
I go there
It
at
is
lunchtime
phenomenal.
on Mondays.
Well, okay, so
You're asking a
so
lot from me.
maybe ask for a half pour of it, but my God, it's what they're doing up at Gilligan's is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's
stuff.
fun.
Yeah.
I love that place. They've got my favorite beef stew in the city.
Oh, it's
Just
good.
somebody write that down.
It's
Talk about you guys first. You and Marco were both
Oh.
talking. Talk about what you guys do.
Julia and Marco from Truth, Beer, and Podsequences. It's a podcast where we recap as much of the Cincinnati craft beer media as we possibly can. So that's YouTube channels and podcasts for the most part right now of what maybe you say on an episode of Cincy Brewcast. Sometimes we kind of make up a few stories about what you say.
Cincy
but
Brew. Marco tried to
know,
teach me last
I know, he
week when
tried-
I
you did-
subbed
you
in on
did
your show. He said
great.
that we do these hand signals and you do this thing. And
We do that, yeah. It's not, but our main goal for our podcast, which there's a second one too, is to bring awareness to Cincinnati craft beer content creators and try to get other people interested and know, oh, I didn't know that was a podcast or that's a topic I'm interested in. Try to spread the awareness of all the amazing content that's happening around Cincinnati craft beer. And from there, we've also spun off a sister podcast, Cincy Beer Events. Beer Events, which I'll give you 3 guesses on what that one's about.
cheese.
You know you're not wrong.
I
With
love
all the
cheese.
charcuterie
I love
board
cheese so
classes
much.
out there.
And I know both of you guys love cheese.
Oh, especially Marco. He
Marco
will
loves cheese.
tear down a block of cheese if you set it in front of him. Amazing.
How did... that's a go listen to their
Go
show.
listen, it's fine.
You'll figure it out. See, waving at me or waving at the people? The camera's over there, Marco. I know you see yourself over here. How did Truth Beer Consequences start? Because I think that this kind of...
It all started through the Weekly Pint,
Right.
which, not to steal any of your thunder for the
we'll
Background of
get
Beer
there.
show, but Weekly Pint started as a kind of virtual happy hour during COVID, and Marco and I didn't have any idea who each other were, but we were both participating week in and week out, teasing, having fun, like little, oh, are you sure they said that? Are you sure that this person actually exists? Are you sure that,
Sure.
X, Y, and Z? And after one of the episodes, Marco during one of the
It was
episodes,
during the episode, yeah.
Marco's like, we need to have a podcast about all of these Cincinnati craft beer podcasts because there used to be a lot more.
Have you gone back and figured out what episode that was?
I still need to do that.
I
I
haven't
need
done
to.
that either.
I should do. It was something only a few weeks
It was
prior
early.
to that. Yeah, it was late spring, early summer.
But early in the
Or in the Weekly
yeah.
Pint, yeah. And so I kind of reached out, and it was just like, is this like a real, we should do this kind of thing? And he's like, yeah. And I went, all right, well, let's make sure we're not each, a serial killer or something.
You're both serial killers. That's why it works out.
True, because...
my truth.
Yeah. Whenever you're in a room with someone's a serial killer. It's pretty... Exactly.
They said Marco eats lots of Lucky Charms.
Exactly. But
Maybe
yeah,
that's the
and it just kind of went downhill
Irish
from
and
there,
the German
now
Irish
we're...
lagers, Lucky Charms.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's-
that's how we started.
So,
It was all thanks to you and Weekly Pint.
but it shines like a fun little spotlight on what I want the Weekly Pint to be, and I've made jokes throughout the history of the show of it's not a show, it is a show, it's not a show. It really is it's a happy hour. It's an excuse for people to hang out and to gather and to kind of create some kind of community. Yes, it's a show, and yes, we talk about things. If you listen to last night's special pop-up episode,
That was amazing.
you see that it's a show. There's something happening.
There is a
Whether or
production
not
value
it's-
to it, yeah.
Whether or not it's productive is
I
a whole
didn't say
separate
that.
discussion. But it's a show. There's things going on, but the bigger kind of soul of what this is just an excuse for people to hang out and people to meet other people, even if you're just meeting digitally over the chat. Which, if you're on the chat, please say hi. I did put it up. Look at me.
Look at you.
Look at me.
Look at you. But no, I really enjoyed, before everything kind of opened back up, I still do, but when you first started Weekly Pint, I looked forward to Monday nights
Right.
because I'm going, this is an opportunity to, even if I wasn't as vocal, air quotes, since it was all typed chat, in the chat it was still just kind of like going to a tap room and just sitting there and hanging out and just people watching. There was still just that community value to it, regardless of what's happening.
You guys might be able to do the
the
emoji things in the background. Maybe. Just hold one up. Marco, hold up a thumbs up.
My
You gotta
head's
hold it
walking.
past her head. The camera's over there, guys.
I'm holding it to the camera.
Joe's
Josh
holding it
is
in front of his
trying.
face. It worked for me.
Let's try too far away.
It works for me. Maybe it just likes me.
Yeah,
I don't understand how any of this works. So
Magic.
I don't know why it works for me.
You. Yeah.
Somebody, Marco, stand up and do those. Hold them.
See, I don't know if that's
Why?
close enough.
Why does it work for me and nobody else?
Is it? Do you think? Is it
I don't
pulling?
know.
Is
It doesn't pull anything. It's the camera.
Well,
You do it. You do
your,
it.
Is your laptop
Yeah.
camera on?
No.
Okay, I don't know.
It's just. I don't understand. I don't understand anything. What were the other ones we can do?
It was like the heart.
Oh yeah, do the heart. Hold it off of you so they can see that it's a heart. Maybe yeah, hold it still. No, hold it still. Oh my God! Like why? No, it's coming from over here.
Is it?
I'm positive. Like I can turn this. So this camera. The only reason that this camera is lit up is because I have a different scene set up for a screen share.
Well, but
it's not actually active.
Okay.
Like it's.
Okay, so
Here,
we are.
Josh, go stand right here in between
over
us.
here.
It's out of focus. Stand like in between these two tables.
We will figure this out.
I don't understand. I don't understand anything. How does it work? Because like if I go over here, so if I go
Yeah.
right here.
Go ahead.
All right, now it's not going to work. You guys broke it all.
It's because I flipped off the camera. It's just like,
Jeez.
no, I'm not doing it anymore.
God, I don't understand anything.
Oh, my gosh.
Evidently, Elliot thinks it's hilarious.
Nice. Thank you, Ellen.
I
All
can't.
right, someone else is up next.
So the origin of the show started because, it started, and this is a good kind of spotlight on kind of why the show exists, because it started before COVID. Like it didn't launch until after COVID was a thing. Oh yeah, I guess that's a loaded time frame, but it started before. There's too much going on, I think. So pre-COVID, 2019,
Yeah.
I started kind of rebuilding what the podcast studio looked like in my house. And Marco got to see the podcast studio before all of that, because you got to hang out on the show kind of in that other era of me trying to start building a podcast studio.
Was that Oktoberfest Quest?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember.
It was probably like right before COVID.
It was a good time.
Are you here to bring us beers? Bring us something fun. Yeah, something fun. Yeah. Little barley wines. Yeah, why not? Yeah, we'll talk about West Side. We'll talk about barley wine. See how you do that? Do you see that? Did you see? I just told him to do something and he did it. So good. God. All right, so I started the show, not starting a show. I started like an experiment. I started this like this funny little like platform that I could hang out with people when they were, well, started a system to provide a platform to talk to people when I wanted to. Let's word it that way. And experiment with things and play with ideas and technology that I thought might work its way into brewcasts or drinking with a gnome or something else. Are you putting antlers on Marco?
Yes.
Rock and roll. And then that little like tiny platform turned itself into the Weekly Pint. Once COVID hit,
So that
you did what? Yeah. Okay, so we don't know. We don't know what's happening. It doesn't smell like barley wine.
So when you started the Weekly Pint, just to go a little bit more into the question you talked to Julia about, I would leave my retail job, and just as the Weekly Pint was starting, I would go to this brewery chain, brew pub.
BJ's, we can call them out.
I
Because
would-
that one closed.
I would go
And
to
that's sad.
Yeah, I would go to BJ's there in Tri-County, and I would order a Truth at BJ's, and so
Marco started going there, and then he got really disappointed because he thought it was a different thing than it was. He was like, "I'm going to go to BJ's. This is going to be a great little trip."
Yeah, if you know me, that's what I do. Right? But anyway, so I would go there. I'd get a Truth, and then I would participate on the Weekly Pint. And so, because I would do that so often, Julia wanted to work that into the name of the podcast.
Right.
So the truth part comes sort of in a way from that, but it also is a play on what we're doing with we don't necessarily always tell the truth. But anyways, so that there's some connections there to the Weekly
Right.
Pint. And then I got to be on the Oktoberfest quest, which was awesome. Now, it was, I believe, my first time on the Oktoberfest quest, not my last time. Hopefully, even this year.
You definitely
in
got kicked off now.
2023 wasn't my last time, but because that's just so much fun.
You let Sonder win. I mean, you're never coming back.
I let them win. Yeah.
That's a joke, guys. So the Oktoberfest was great. All right, we have a fun little sidebar, I guess. We're gonna drink some barley wine. Marco,
LFG. Let's go.
2021 and 2024 barley wine. Can I shuffle yours up and see if you can figure out which
Let's
is
go.
which?
All right. This is me turning my back so that he can shuffle them.
I have no idea which one's which.
Well, then how are you going to know?
Cause you'll figure it out. See what? No, I don't want you to tell me. I want Marco to tell me.
All right.
That's the whole point of this thing.
So I'm grabbing.
This reference because, yeah, that's what it was. Grabbing. Can I say penis on the internet? I think you can say penis on the internet.
Oh,
There is?
my goodness. That is
All right, I'm gonna drink. Hey, shuffle mine.
extremely flavorful.
I can see, but it doesn't matter because I forgot what he said when he put them down. All right, I'm gonna start with this one.
All right. Not that one, the other one.
No, this one.
Okay.
Smells like barley. I don't get a lot of wine.
Oh, all right. All right.
Well, it's boozy. Ooh, it's good. That means it tastes good. Did you try them both?
I did.
This one smells boozier.
All right. So I'm going to say this one is the fresher one. This one is
They're
the
still
older
too
one.
cold. Too cold. Nobody.
But
Nobody has the answer.
so fantastic.
What is the difference between the two?
I think I get a lot more
Barley?
just
It's a joke.
just
guys.
a bouquet of aroma out of what I believe is probably the fresher one.
Joe, your wife is on the chat and she says, "Have Joe get me a beer too, please." He says that one's for you.
And then
And now you can watch him drink it.
I feel that this one I get, although I do get an aroma, it's a little more muted, and then also the flavors are just more balanced. There's a lot of balance, and so I'm gonna say the one I have in my hand at this moment is the older one versus the other one's the newer one. They are just so good, though.
Yeah, I get like a
Oh, it's so good.
this
love it.
one smells richer. Is that a good description? Like it just has more more aroma to it. I guess like it smells bigger. With this one, can you actually tell the difference between them looking at them? Which one's hazy? One of them's lighter. The older one, yeah. The older one is the one I'm getting more kind of aroma out of. Yeah.
Well, then I have it totally backwards. Then I have the one that's older having more aroma and flavor, and the one that's newer is more sort of consistent throughout.
Really?
I called them the opposite way, but Dippa Josh back there, who we all know is an expert in all things.
Well, listen, barley wine,
high gravity.
Barley wine is the original Dippa.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, we didn't talk about this, or I didn't talk about this in my barley wine video because trying to keep it short and concise. But if American barley wine didn't happen, American double IPAs wouldn't have happened. Like this birthed the style. It was about making a big malty beer, and then us as Americans, we did our thing, and we're like, oh, this is too much malt. We gotta add something in here. We gotta add a bunch of hops.
Dippa Josh is all about birthing. He goes to classes.
Does?
He's got a master's in birthing.
I think he's giving you antlers again. They didn't.
Actually, he almost missed this because of a Lamaze class.
They didn't do anything to the. Here, let's see if it does.
Or a
again.
parade, because it is MLK Day.
Why does it work for me and nobody else? All right. All right, Joe. None of us are going to look at the camera, okay? We're going to just kind of look over here. Joe, give us 2 thumbs up at the same time. No, hold them out. Hold them out.
Those hands are too
come
small.
on, hold them.
It's never going to detect
there you go.
those tiny fingers.
Why? Why can he not give 2 thumbs up the way that I do?
Because
Just do it like
his
this.
hands are so
like
small.
This, like 2 thumbs up. Why are you aiming them weird?
It's like 2 little bumps on the kids' meal hamburgers.
It really only works for me. I promise that this is not some kind of trick. It's nothing to do with the laptop. It's coming through the camera. It's in front of your face. See, all right, your thumb is right there, and it's not working. All right, move your thumb. I'm gonna put mine here. Can't figure out how to turn it. Oh, Marco's worked. Marco got it. And he is far off of the laptop camera. I don't understand anything. My God. We're talking about barley wine. Nobody can hear you because... But we're all like just looking at you, listening. So, what does... turn your microphone. Like, just turn it towards him. Okay, so what is barley wine? Can you give us a good description of what barley wine is? Get right in front of the
Yeah,
microphone.
I mean, barley wine is just, it's one of those that I hate to say. It tastes exactly like it sounds. You get a nice strong barley from it. You get a little bit of like a plum, a little something like that. But it's going to be a little sweeter than your traditional beer. That's kind of where the wine aspect comes out of it. So it's sweeter. It's a little higher in alcohol. I think ours measures out about 11.2%. So, this very self-descriptive, and that's why we don't name our beers. Our beers are exactly what they sound like.
Right. It's so, and this may be a deeper question than what you are ready to answer. Is this an American barley wine or is this an English-style barley
Ours
wine?
is an American, yeah.
I feel like it's right in between. Okay, it's not like when I think American barley wine, I think about like those fresh, like Bigfoot barley wines from Sierra Nevada that are like just so like Tippa,
Yeah.
triple IPA. Like it's so hoppy. This is not like a hoppy beer.
Yeah, I mean, we just kind of do that a lot with our higher gravity beers in general. I mean, we were talking about Tippa earlier. I mean, our triple IPA, that measures in at 12.5%. It's like 122 IBUs. It's going to be one of the smoothest drinking beers you're ever gonna have. So it's just.
It's not. It'll knock you on your ass.
Oh, it definitely will. It definitely will.
Smooth as
But,
relative.
so, I mean, that's just one thing we do is we joke and say we have a good problem of making high ABV beers very drinkable. Tippa, yeah.
Yeah.
Tippa. Oh.
I think that this is probably, as far as barley wines that are regularly released that I'm aware of, this is the best example to me of a barley wine that when it's released, it's ready to drink. Like, it tastes exactly like I want a barley wine to taste, but that also ages perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, it just keeps getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to, at some point, dive into my 2019 that is just chilling away and hanging out. And man, it's great beer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You did great. You did great
asked
with
for
this
something
beer.
Fun. You asked for something fun. I mean, it's one of our
Yeah,
our
this
big
is a fun
things,
beer.
so.
This is a fun beer. Everything you guys do is fun. What is your favorite West Side beer?
Oh.
And I'll accept. What is your favorite West Side beer today? Because I know
I
that
would
it
say
shifts
on
and
our
changes.
current tap list, you can't go wrong with the Gill. I mean, the Gill is such a classic. It's been one that people have been asking about since probably June.
Yeah.
Gill is great. What makes it Irish?
Yeah. We were talking about this earlier. So the German Irish lager.
Yeah.
What is the German side? We can name a whole bunch of things that could
Yeah.
make it German. What makes it Irish?
It's the malt. It has an Irish malt base of a traditional Irish red ale. So, ironically, our Gilligan's red ale.
Do you know
has a
what that?
different-
Do you know what that
I
malt
don't off the
is?
top of my head. I
Because
don't,
yeah.
unfortunately. But I know the Irish aspect comes from the malts of it.
That makes sense. And then the lager, the yeast and the
Yeah.
lagering is
Yeah, I
German.
believe it is a German yeast, but you can't go wrong with that beer. It is so good, but.
Sometimes Colin's on the show, and he could chime in and tell us, but
Yeah.
clearly he's not on tonight.
No.
So
Yeah, he knows all that details, and all of our brewers do. But I mean, also some of our smoked beers, like smoked Pilsner and smoked Helles, those are both light in the smoke aspect. We love doing smoked beers here, so we try to smoke just about every single lager we do.
I love that. I love that so much.
You guys should put out a mixed 12-pack of smoked beers and call it West Side Smoke Show.
Ooh, I like that.
I will pass that on.
The
We
smoke show.
typically don't can a lot of our smoked beers. We only really can the Rausch beer. We only typically do a pilot batch of it, which yields about 3 half barrels.
Ooh, now we're talking.
You guys are giving me a lot of good ideas.
Now we're
to tell
talking.
Colin, and
Write all
it's
this
gonna be a
stuff
great
down.
time. I know they want to do one, like a mixed IPA pack. We're just getting into those 12 mix packs right now, so we're working on like a Gilligan's
the
one.
German mix pack was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. We picked a good one to start off with.
Yeah.
Any of our German
Here we
beers
go.
really.
Colin says, as Chris said, it's the malt bill of an Irish red ale. What is the malt? What is the malt? Is there actually Irish malt? Is there a malt that is happening in? No, Colin's here. He's just not helping me. I need to know what the malt is. I need to know the malt. Is there an Irish malt? Or is there just malt that typically we see in Irish beers? I'm curious. I feel like the sound just changed. Did the speaker? Can you guys still hear? Yeah. Oh, is that what it was? Just all of the evil Steelers fans just are filing out of the tap room. Good riddance. Good riddance, all y'all. All right, so Colin says nothing from Ireland itself. It's a mix of domestic and Euro malts, but it's the malt bill of what you would typically expect from an Irish red ale, and then fermented with German lager yeast, and then that's the German side. That makes sense.
Sounds like what I said.
Sounds like what Marco said. Marco knows all. Thank you, Colin.
I don't know all. It just sounds exactly
Thank you,
like
Chris.
what I said.
We're probably getting to that point where we should start wrapping this thing up.
And go drink some beer?
Yeah, we should drink heavily.
Yes.
Heavily.
Well, we need to celebrate. It
Yeah,
is
we should.
MLK Day.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, that. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Uh,
Did everyone go to a parade? Hope everyone went to a parade.
were there parades?
No, it's too cold out.
Yeah, it's very
It
cold.
was in single digits. I think it's going to get to 0 degrees here in the next
I think it's
little bit.
0 degrees right where I'm sitting. It's a little chilly.
It's really chilly in here, by
Yeah,
the way.
if you sit over there, it's warmer.
It is.
So, if we talk about just the Weekly Pint, what is this show to you? What is the point of the show? Where is the show going? Where do you think it should go? Tell me your thoughts about the Weekly Pint, because you're a big part of it. You've been there from, if not day one. No, you weren't there day one because you're not a Nomi.
I was not. No, I'm not.
Day one was just Nomis, I think, right? It was a Nomi exclusive. I look at Julia. She's my archivist.
The queen of screens, Julia.
But you've been there from pretty much day one.
Well, from day one for the common folk.
Yeah, the common folk like you.
Yeah, like me.
Yeah.
I think for the community that you try and reach, I think it's a fun community, and it should be growing. And I like the fact that it's appointment participation. There's not a lot of that outside of American sports or sports in general. That's appointment anymore, because you can just pretty much even with the Weekly Pint as a piece of content, you can catch it later.
You can get it whenever you want.
You can get it whatever you want. But what you can't do is interact with us live. And you're interacting with people who...
Can I interrupt for 1 second? Do you think the Weekly Pint should just exist live?
Well, I think that's a question for you. For me, I like participating live.
Right.
And I don't go back and listen, although I know Julia does for
The majority of the people that
our
consume
notes and content purposes.
The majority of the people that consume the show do it after the fact.
That's exactly why I think having it live on after live is a benefit.
But that's also one of those things that, like, okay, so I made the show that was a live show, and when I started it, it was only live. Unless you were a Nomi, you couldn't go back and listen to it. It makes me want to now make another show.
Well, but
that's only live. But you have to be here at a certain time to listen to the show.
Well,
I don't know how to do that. I don't know in my schedule how to do that. But I want to do that. Maybe that's coming.
If you ever get to the point, then maybe that's something that you need to make happen for yourself. What I would say is for the community is that the community that participates live gets something that everyone else doesn't.
Right.
And that's inherent in that show, in that production.
And that is Marco.
True. But it's not just me. I mean, there's a lot of industry professionals. There's people outside of the industry that participate live. And but having it out there as content is...
We lost the speaker. All right,
But
good.
having it out there
It's fine.
as content is still
they
fun,
can't-
because depending on what you're talking about, people from outside, they could be interested.
I just tapped it. It's fine. It's fine. They're all yelling behind me that they can't hear us, and I know you can't hear me because I can hear the change in my head. And I just tapped it. I know. I respect your opinions, Marco, a lot. This show is something that was born because of people like you and like Julia and like Josh and maybe like Joe. Maybe.
He's the Michael Jackson of German dancing.
It was born because of people like you guys that like to be part of this thing as it's happening. He's here for something. I couldn't hear what it was. For the dancing. He's here for the dancing.
Yeah.
And I want this show to always be a part of that thing. But it also, like, because of what the show is, it just pokes these other little ideas inside my head that, like, oh, you know what? Like, we could do this, or we could do that, or we could try this, and like that's to me that's the soul of what the Weekly Pint was when it started, was an excuse to like play around with ideas. And you're always going to see things mess up on the show because I'm always trying new stuff. Like sometimes I'll do a live stream from a tap room. I guess I am technically plugged into the power over there, but like other than that, like all this is just like this weird little like thing. And like I couldn't have figured this out if I didn't have this show to figure this out. Maybe this works its way into a Cincy Brewcast or into something else at some point. Like this show gives me an excuse to try things that I wouldn't try with a client or with a Cincy Brewcast or with something that quote unquote mattered. This is the free form kind of play around thing.
Well, I think that's important too, and keep in mind that you never know who you're actually. You never know. You never know who is going to end up picking up on this content. You never know who is going to take it as inspiration. As
right.
You know, all of us that are here tonight are content creators. You know, the fact that this show lives not just on its own while it's live, but
right.
you know, out there in the content world, you never know who's going to come across it and then get inspired to maybe make some more content. So if you want to do something exclusive for, you know, a certain segment of people, that's fine. But the fact that this show is already out and people already know that it's out for general consumption, I'm of the opinion, keep it in both facets, live and in general consumption, because you never know when someone else is going to pick it up and feel like they're inspired to make some content.
Brilliantly spoken. So as we wrap things up, I do have one more thing. I'm going to give away some tickets. Tickets. So these are the ticket. I have 2 pairs of tickets for this Friday. So you have to be available this Friday. That's first and foremost. The Moorline Lager House is doing a beer dinner. If you guys have never been to a Moorline beer dinner, it's stupid fun. And this will apply to anybody that is on the chat or that is watching live here in the room.
Is this one of the Fire and Ice things?
Yeah. It takes part during the Fire and Ice celebration. Hang on, I'm trying to get things to. That's fine. We'll just put it there. So this is 7 to 9 p.m. this Friday. That is January 19th. You have to be available. Number one, you have to be available, and I'm going to take your information right now and send it to Moorline and let them know that you have free tickets. So if you aren't available, just don't play this little game that I have. I don't actually have a game. I'm going to make it up as we go along. But first, we got to talk about what this beer dinner is, because if you've never been to a Moorline beer dinner, they are the best beer dinners that I've ever been to in my life. They are so freaking good. They are the best beer dinners I've ever been to in my life. They are so freaking good.
Okay, so what makes it that good?
What makes it that good? They take the beer, and the beer is a star, and they pair up food that actually works with the beer, but still let the beer be a star of what the dinner is. That's hard sometimes for other people. Here's the description from the Moorline Lager House. It says, step into a dazzling evening of beer and spectacle at the beer dinner hosted by Nick Lander, the esteemed head brewer of Moorline Lager House, and his talented team. And there's prices, no prices because I'm giving away tickets. It's a thoughtfully curated menu, expertly paired with Moorline's premium brews. This was written by AI.
I was going to say, this was written by AI.
From delectable appetizers to sumptuous, should probably be scrumptious.
No, sumptuous.
Sumptuous
No,
desserts.
what's the last sumptuous thing that you've actually had in the food world? Let's not go outside the food world.
I had some cheese yesterday. That's pretty
Okay,
good.
very good.
Good.
Let's just move on.
Each course showcases a harmonious blend of culinary artistry and brewing mastery. But the excitement doesn't stop there. Be captivated by dynamic fire performers and admire our intricate ice sculptures, adding an extra layer of enchantment to your dining experience. Secured by it's going to be mesmerizing, guys. I think that's the beer. Hefeweizen is a German wheat beer. It's paired with Borzen. Is that how you pronounce it? Borzen?
No idea.
Borzen. Somebody help me.
Joe?
It's a pear smoked
He
salmon.
said, you are correct, sir.
Pear smoked salmon tartlet. Second course.
One of Joe's nicknames in high school.
IPA. It is paired with the fire roasted pig wings. Third course, Barbarossa. Everybody knows the wonderful dark German lager.
Yeah.
It is paired with chicken mole with grilled chipotle polenta cakes. Oh God, yes, give me that all day. And then the last course is a porter paired with bananas Foster donut that is sprinkled with some Bavarian roasted pecans. Pecans or pecans? Do you know the difference?
It's pecans. Pecan is what a truck driver uses.
Wrong. That is not the difference. $3.50 a pound. So,
Very good.
if anybody wants to go to the dinner that is not on the live stream, you can you'll figure it out.
Win the tickets.
But we're gonna give 2 pairs of tickets away, and
So that's 4 tickets.
I'm
2
gonna-
pair.
Yeah, 2 pair. Good
Two
math. I'm
per.
gonna give away two pairs of tickets.
2 per.
4 tickets total. Why is this confusing? I'm giving away 2 pairs of
it's
tickets.
math,
I'm giving away 1 pair
congratulations.
and then another pair. I'm giving away 2 pairs of tickets. So get your buzzers ready. On. All right, I'm trying to think of a good trivia question. Julia, you ready for trivia?
No, don't do that.
I love trivia. I don't have the music ready, but on last night's episode of Cincy Brewcast, nope, that wasn't the episode. On the Weekly Pint.
The weekly pint.
Last night's episode of the Weekly Pint. What was the last beer that was poured into the boot? The first person that raises their hand is the last beer poured in. Oh, come on. I thought this was easy. Ludwig is not correct. Should I give it? And anybody that's on the chat can also chime in on this. Just type your answer. Caroline says Wandering Monsters. That is Ludwig. That is incorrect. The last beer. Come on, guys. Raise your hand. What was it? Saunders.
Oh, Julia, Josh win.
Julia got it. So it was. I gave a little spritz of Saunders at the very end because they won. They won and they got extra.
It was they got the extra. They were in early and then you topped it off.
That was the last beer poured in. That's not what I asked. You got to listen to the question.
Jeez.
All right.
You still won, Julia.
So Caroline says because you added it. Yes, I added it twice. That was the whole point of the question. All right. Second trivia question. I have 2 more tickets that I'm going to give out.
The deuce.
The deuce. I'm going to give out my deuce.
That's correct.
In a box. It's going to get shipped to your house.
All
right.
They have that going on now. You can get that by the pharmacy.
And you would need to probably listen to other podcasts in this universe. holiday time rolls around. I'm only bringing one beer. I'm bringing one beer to my holiday celebrations. What am I bringing? I'm bringing a case of it. What am I bringing?
Sierra Pale Ale.
You gotta raise your hand, guys. Come on. All right. Everybody, put your hands down. I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1. You have to put your hand up to chime in again because you guys confuse me. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right. Joe got it first. Little Kings.
That's correct.
It is Little Kings. Little Kings is the only thing I'm bringing.
Joe,
All right.
are you and Caroline free
pair of
on
tickets.
Friday night? Do you have babysitters?
He didn't consult first, but he's got a pair of tickets.
You have 2 per.
Caroline says, I know what I'm bringing. Little Kings. She's also right. But she also has a pair of tickets that will be there. Maybe solo.
Do you have a ticket for her?
I do, but somebody's got to watch my kids. Hey, Joe, give me the number for your
That's what I was going to
babysitter.
say. Can y'all hook up with the
All right, guys.
babysitting arrangements?
We're going to wrap this thing up because the Weekly Pint is not supposed to be all night. And I got to watch Baker Mayfield and see if...
No, we're going to go drink some beer.
Yeah, we're going to drink beer. We're going to drink a whole bunch of beer. Thank you guys for hanging out. This is the Weekly Pint. It really is just an excuse for us all to drink together. And much like last night's episode where I fired up from the bar and then couldn't give you outro music, I can't do it tonight either because I didn't prepare for that. Outro. That's not even close to the outro music. All right, so thank you guys. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. Thank you for being part of this show that is not a show, that may be a show if you want it to be a show. It's whatever it is in your heart. It's the Weekly Pint, and I love you, and I love you, and you. I don't like you, but I love you, and 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 I love everybody out there that doesn't even know that this is happening here in this room, but I love you anyways because you're here. And we'll be back next week.
This is the outro music for the Weekly Pint. This is the outro music for
the
the
outro music.
Weekly Pint.
We'll see you guys later.
This is the outro music.
Gotta
for
find
the
my,
Weekly Pint.
You gotta keep going. You gotta
This is the
more
outro
outro.
music for the Weekly Pint. This is the outro music for the Weekly Pint. This is the outro music for the Weekly Pint. This is the outro music for the Weekly Pint. Weekly Pint, Weekly Pint, Weekly Pint. This is the outro for the Weekly Pint.
This is Weekly Pint.